So we're around the middle of the first 10 days. So I hope you've had the courage to allow yourself to be really authentic with the emotional baggage that you are really carrying. Allowing yourself to be in that and acknowledge that, and that you're not making it about someone else, but you're just going, well, this is the stuff that's in me, and this is the stuff that I need to heal and harmonise. As soon as you project it out of yourself, that means that you're creating the sort of scenarios in your life then that you most fear. As long as you keep it within, process it within yourself, then it can be purely an alchemical transition. As soon as you start to project it outside of yourself, then it will create experience that you must live in your life in order to heal that. Days, weeks, months, years, lifetimes, potentially. If you have a situation occur where you've got all the stuff that you've been carrying, it starts to come up within you, and you go, oh, okay, I acknowledge this, release the judgment, deal with it internally. It doesn't create any experience for you in the future that you have to live through. This is why I say you must review the past but not reclaim it. As soon as you make it about someone else, you may just get a little trigger and you go, oh, and you've projected it. And you may find in a few days you will experience something which is annoyingly familiar. And then you have the opportunity as it's happening to release the judgment, to acknowledge, release the judgment and move forward, free from that. Or you may do the same thing you did in the first place when you originally clung on to that. In which case you haven't made any progress. But if you get triggered and you go, ooh, and you really push it out a long way forward, you can create 3 months, 3 years, 10 years of suffering for yourself while you learn that lesson. That's just the way the system's set up. So to some degree I let you project at me and I mirror it back for you to save you. Hopefully in a short period of time you'll realise that you're projecting and you're creating then unnecessary experience in the future. So I'll let you to some degree project at me and I'll just sort of gently mirror it back to you and contain it so that you're not creating unnecessary experience for yourself. And many of you don't appreciate that because it's not pleasant, but it's part of what I do to help you prevent this situation where you're creating unnecessarily going over the painful experiences of the past again. But the ideal is that you just go, oh, this is my feelings, this is, it's not father issues about Michael, or it's not this, or it's, he doesn't represent, or someone raped me once who had a beard, so it's all about Michael, because that's all bullshit. You've got to be more mature than that to really take advantage of this relationship that we have. Because there's a lot happening behind the scenes that I'm attempting to mitigate to some degree so that in your moments when you do sort of lose it and start to project, we work to contain that as much as we can so that you don't create this constant stream of unnecessary future experiences of reliving the pain from the past that you're hanging on to. So you really got to get to the point where you're not projecting and you're just keeping it within yourself as, yes, okay, this is coming up. I'll honour this, I'll acknowledge this, and I'm going to transmute it, I'm going to let it go. What happens is if stuff starts to come up for you and you don't deal with it straight away in the moment, and it starts to build up, that's when it can get on top of you, and before you know it, you'll find yourself projecting. And then you start to make it about all this stuff that you're dragging along from the past, even past lives, other lifetimes. You can start making it about anyone that reminds you of anything that is vaguely familiar to that which was in the painful experience of the past. And that's not really fair to these people. Well, it may be the reincarnation of the same person. Yeah, it may be somewhat fair, but even in that situation, you're still perpetuating the pain of the past and recreating it in the future. If you don't contain it and just sort of deal with it in the moment as it's coming up. So that's vitally important. But as I've said before, ideally to get the transmutational process running all the time, which just means that you're staying in equanimity, in non-judgment, you're acknowledging everything that that is coming up for you, that you're feeling without any judgment. As you're doing that, you just start to feel this energy shifting, and you're just constantly re-choosing unconditional love and compassion and wisdom and gratitude and such things. And then the process will just run all the time. It's amazing how much progress you can make in a really, really short period of time when you do that. Feel as you feel without judgment. Unconditional love. I often define as benevolent love. So spiritual love might be characterized as benevolent love. The thing about intense benevolent love is that as you receive it, that love seeks to create within you, indeed compel within you, that which is for your highest eternal well-being. It has no interest in the desires of the ego, because that's the temporal part of you that you're wearing for a time, fourscore, however many years. And the more intense that unconditional love, that benevolent love, kind of the less personal it gets. But that's really half the equation. Because the unconditional love, the benevolent love, is the emanation of the feminine aspect of creative source. Then there is the masculine aspect of creative source. Which is will, divine will. To become truly integrated in your own mastery, you must be as comfortable with divine will as you are with spiritual love. Now, you've heard me speak of the greater will. Well, the greater will is divine will. It's the emanation from the masculine aspect of creative source. But it's not power over, it's not will over. It brings with it an awareness of everything that is possible for you to will for yourself. All of that potential that you can will for yourself within that particular moment. And it's constrained by the learning that lays ahead of you because of past choices and so forth. That divine will, that benevolent will of the Creator holds you in an understanding of what the potential is for the scope of, let's say, that which can be created, co-created within your life from moment to moment. But most people recoil from divine will because it so starkly and clearly shows you what the real choices are in the moment, what the real potential is. And the ego, I just want to see what the choices are because it might be scary and it might affect the comfort zone and so forth. I'm not ready for that. And so we tend to sort of want to bask in the spiritual love. It make me feel all good, like I am mummy and daddy's arms. And shy away from the masculine aspect of Source, which is divine will, benevolent will. And what I'm holding you in this moment is a very intense spiritual love, benevolent love, unconditional love. And some of you have already used your ego to shut down from receiving that, and that makes you a fool, by the way. Within the context of what we're doing here, you know, you'd have to be a fool to do that. But some of you are trying to, fighting it. Some of you have actually done it already. So that's choosing ego, and that's kind of foolish within the context of being here and being on this path. So rethink immediately. But this kind of intense, unconditional love doesn't feel that dissimilar to a not very intense dose of divine will, benevolent will. So as you are open to receiving these frequencies of love, as I add frequencies of divinity to that as well, this can give you a real glimpse into what the potential is as you spiritualize the ego and align your human will with the greater will that allows this huge scope of potential to open up to you. In of and for love, I choose the greater will. I choose to align my individual will with the greater will. And as you surrender to the greater will shows you the scope of all possibilities of wise, truly wise choices that you can make. And I'll guarantee you, it is much grander than what you would be able to conceive for yourself. To be open to new knowing, which comes from receiving, surrendering to the benevolent love of the Creator and the benevolent will of the Creator. This allows you to sense the scope, the range of possibilities for choice in future moments which are within the range of truly wise forward movement in evolutionary terms. So as you add the violet flame to this, to refine, clear resistance within you, to clear the resistance within you to receiving this new knowing. Feel as you feel. Release the judgment. Acknowledge the gifts that this resistance brings you. Release this energy and return it to its original source. Replace this with new knowing, clarity of the way ahead, which will allow you to be your fullest potential as spirit in matter. Allow that melding of benevolent love and benevolent will to bring with it inspiration to reflect upon your intuition. To bring with it an understanding of how you may create, co-create with Source to bring about wonder within your sphere of influence. Feel the energies rejoicing in this union. Rejoicing in the opportunity to penetrate this deeply into the form worlds, to be able to explore the furthest reaches of its creation through the medium of spiritualizing the form that you are, to indeed live with the Holy Spirit. Be open to calling forth a deep penetration and full and open radiation of your entire energy matrix and four-body system, with the energy of benevolent will, creative will, the will of the creative being, to surrender to co-creating with the will of the creative being. Feel that union. Feel that melding. Feels like returning home, yet it is here, fully present in the moment, to experience Source on the planet and to the planet. Allow this connection to strengthen, to enliven, to vivify, to awaken to the potential of all that is. Feel the wisdom, the spiritual intelligence, the insight, the harmony, the transformational energy flowing through you. Bringing about this really anchored, intense new knowing. And make a commitment to allow Source to lead you step by step by step by step by step into the actualization of Source in matter, in your unique way. And feel the power of that love and feel the power of that divine will, clearing, refining with the violet flame. Creating a state of new harmony and balance within you and without of you. I am love. I am creative will. I am harmony. I am wisdom. And I choose to know. I choose to know. And I choose to act out of that knowing in each and every moment. And I allow love to restore the balance. I am love. I am creative will. I am one with all life forms, and they are one with me. I am one with the universal consciousness. One with all life forms, and they are one with me. I am love. I am creative will. I am spiritual intelligence. And I choose love. And I know love. And I put that creative will behind the love to become powerfully loving. A conscious conductor of a living energy, and indeed I am that energy. I am a spot within the macrocosm through which energy is focused. And indeed I am that energy. I am love, I am creative will, I am harmony. Feel and know that love, that potential, that creative will within you. It's your birthright. To operate out of this knowing. Receive this as your birthright and prize it. Prioritize it in your life and trust it. Feel the power of love. And may love restore the balance. How are you feeling? It's the old unworthiness. Let it go. You are worthy. The energies decide whether or not you're ready and if you're worthy. So just trust. And the energies want to dance with you and work with you. So you're ready and you're worthy. Because divine intelligence knows whether or not you're a suitable vessel. So let go of all this stuff you've been told, because the energies are choosing you to work with you. So you just trust that and thank God, Source, whatever, for that, and just be grateful. Yeah. No need to try to be falsely modest or suffer through it. No need for any of that. Just let all that go. That's just all old paradigm stuff.
It's very solid and very present.
That's what I'm holding all the time. One thing that I wanted to share with you, I've talked about this on different events, but also on one of the CDs, which is the importance of only allowing healers to work on you if they are clearer than you and if they are holding more spiritual light than you. So they need to be more enlightened than you are, and they need to be psychologically clearer than you are. And why is that? If you're going to let someone channel energy into your field, and the energy has to come through their system. If their system is not clearer and brighter than yours, they can only muddy up your system. Is that rocket science? Stop letting people work on you that are not as enlightened as you, not as clear as you. Right? And there has to be that loving intent. Now this is one of the most foolish things you can possibly do. You'd never give yourself a needle with a syringe that you've just taken out of the toilet or the cat's litter tray, would you? So don't let anyone work on you unless they are more enlightened than you and psychologically clearer than you. And some of the problems that some of you are having is because you let all these fools channel energy into your field. Stop it. You wouldn't go, if you needed heart surgery, you wouldn't go to the pub and find someone that's, had a few beers and, oh yeah, I'm a really good heart. Yeah, I know hearts, mate. I know boats too. And let them operate on your heart. Don't be so stupid. Don't be so stupid. Doesn't matter what they say. Now, your heart will tell you if it's appropriate for the person to work on you. And the more refined your system gets, the more important it is to not let anyone work on you unless they are clearer than you and brighter than you. That just makes sense. It's very important. Well, I'm talking about energy work, so if I go to the chiropractor, I'm not open to that person channeling energy. I'm not interested in that. I want them to do so I just set up boundaries so that they can't do that. I love you. So that process is what I wanted to share with you today, and that's really what this time of year is all about. Anchoring spirit, to co-create with spirit, source. So what we're going to do tomorrow, we're going to give you some time to integrate now today. What we'll do tomorrow is Linda's going to do the morning and help you to create space, because as spirit manifests here on the earth plane, you have to willingly start co-creating with spirit. And if you don't, within about 7 days, spirit will withdraw again. So it's up to you. You have to surrender the ego. The soul has to go into the place where the ego used to be, and then spirit takes the space where the soul used to be. And there's no room for the ego in the old way anymore. Now you've got about 7 days to effect that, to create that space, to just surrender and just let that be. So Linda will be helping you in the morning to work with that process of creating that space. And then tomorrow afternoon, Nerida's going to work with running you through the elemental alchemical initiations, also with the purpose of creating space for this. And then late tomorrow afternoon, 4:30 or 5, something, I'll come over and then run this process again. So it's about surrendering, it's about creating that space to allow that to occur. So it's as though part of you returns to the earth, the soul descends and anchors here in a synthesized center between the solar plexus and the sacral chakra. And then spirit anchors here in the heart center. And there's no room for ego in the old way, in that way of being. So the choice is yours. That's what it's all about. Letting go of the past and moving into this space of co-creating with spirit in of and for love, in service to all that is, a spot within the macrocosm to which energy is focused, a conscious conductor of a living energy, and indeed being that energy. So there's no higher and lower self. There's just integrated body-mind source. Source, body and consciousness melded together as the pure expression of spirit in the earth plane. That is the ancient alchemical mechanism of self-transcendence. So I'll be working with you overnight to continue this process. Letting go, allowing that dissension to occur. And as the descending spirit anchors, it produces an ascending energy within you. That's why the process is called ascending dissension. And you all have the opportunity to embrace this in measure. I hope that's what you choose. So I want you to work with that, integrating that tomorrow morning. Linda will be doing some work to help you clear any blocks to that and resistance to that. And then in the afternoon, Nerida will be taking you through the elemental initiation process again to help to consolidate the humanness with the increase of spirit and the light which is generated. Remembering light is, as spirit melds with the human self, it creates an alchemical reaction which emanates light. This is what you've been asking for. Receive it, choose it, embrace it. Wholeness. How about you have a walk around? Have a cuppa if you feel to.